Hello everyone and welcome to another dojo video. In this video we're going to look at something not really traditionally Aikido, but rather something that adds up to Aikido and is not as martial, but nevertheless it's fun to do and it's good for your coordination and effective for muscle development. There are many layers to this and I'm sure if you're watching this video probably you're aware of the benefits you want to get from it. So the video is going to focus on different techniques of spinning the jo and moving the jo freely. First, we'll begin with two different videos, the basic one and the advanced one. The basic one will look at just some basic movements, how to get in touch with the jo, with the staff, how to get a feeling of the movement. And the advanced one will show you some more tricky movements which look better but also need more attention and more development. So, all right. So we'll start with a very simple exercise, doing just a slight warm-up. So we're going to give the jo from one hand to the other behind the back. So this is a good way to warm up the shoulders and also to develop some basic coordination, the feeling of the staff. You can also do it the other way around. Now, you can also do it with your eyes closed. This will help you develop more the feeling, which is also good for this movement, doing it both sides. Good. Now we can continue on by spinning the jo, spinning the staff. We can look at the technique of how to do this, but normally people just generally get a natural feeling for it, so just try. And also doing it the other way around, this is going to help you develop further. Most likely one side will be harder than the other. And then we do the same behind. Now again, this is good, nice stretch and warm up for the shoulders, for the chest, and also great coordination exercise since you don't see what's happening behind. And also the other way. Now, another movement which is quite common and a lot of people know how to do this, but in case you haven't done it, I'll explain. So we're going to hold the jo, the staff in front and tilt it diagonally. Now my hips turn, the hip movement is important here. My hips turn to the side, the jo goes down, turn it around, I go back and I thrust to the other side, I turn it back. 1, 2. And now if I connect the movement, you get a nice movement of an eighth, of an infinity sign. Now, as I mentioned, it's going to help you if you add the hip movement. By adding the hip movement, you're going to have some extra energy here. Also, release, don't hold the wrist too firmly, too strongly. Release it, make it light so that the jo can spin around here. And the more you develop, the faster you can get. Also, let's not forget the other hand. Here. Also hip movement, the hand stays in front of the center. It's quite efficient here. Good. Now to develop further, to push ourselves more, to develop better skills, we're going to start switching the hands. One side, other side, one side, other, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, here. So now, if we start with the left hand, I go down, I grab the jo with the other hand, turn, go down, grab, turn, go down, grab, grab, grab. And there's again, a nice coordination development. Here. Good. Now one more exercise which is good for developing coordination and some basic skills, free movement with the jo. We're going to start this movement with holding the jo almost at the end, but leaving some space. Hold it in front. Now, as if you would want to scratch your back, diagonally give yourself the jo through the back here, thumb up, and grab the jo from under. And release the upper arm, go out. And once more. diagonally through the back, thumb up, grab, release, go out. And keep giving yourself the staff back and forth. Once more, it's good here since you don't really see the staff, so you're developing coordination. And since you have to grab it without actually seeing it behind, you have to feel it in space. Also, it's a good wrist exercise. Wrists are important for this type of development too. Here, here. And once more, you can do it with your closed eyes. Develop further. Here. Good. Now, another movement which looks quite efficient, but actually is quite easy, is this movement here. So now the way to do this, it's actually a lot about the wrist and the way you're holding the jo. So you can start by pointing the staff up, go back, and now hold the staff with the thumb, but release all the other fingers and then it drops. But hold it firmly with the thumb, right? So again, we'll do this once more. Go back, release all the fingers just besides the thumb. So now as it drops, there's a momentum here. You can see it goes forward. So we're going to use this. It goes forward and I give a little bit of a push forward there and catch it again with the fingers. So it goes back, I release it and catch. Goes back, I release, push it forward, catch. So, catch, catch. And you can continue this movement. Now, also to make it look and feel more efficient, don't do diagonally this way. It's going to be a very big circle, not as efficient. Really try to do it just next to the arm. It looks best and feels best here. And also try it with the other hand, since again, as I mentioned, one hand is always weaker than the other, but to make the movements efficient, the more you're developed in both arms, the better. So now what's also fun to do when doing some free movement with the staff is to have it in the air. So for example, if I'm spinning it around and I release it, I catch it here. So now, to develop that, first of all, we'll start very basic. So just holding the staff in front, throwing it in front, keeping it horizontal, and catching it with the other hand. Here, developing the basic feeling of staff in the air, grabbing it. And also try to do it slightly with the eyes closed, but the movement, the disattaching of the arms won't be as long. You can try it, it's a good exercise. Here. Here. And now we're going to add a slight spinning to it. So now if you remember this exercise, we're going to connect the two here. So as the staff spins here, as I spin the staff here, I release the fingers, goes down. But here now, I can't really re-catch it, no matter how far I go. So I'm going to have to release it and catch it in the air. So it goes down, I release it, throw it up, and catch. So this movement together with this movement. Here. Here. And you can actually continue doing that over and over, kind of getting a spinning feeling in the air. Again, as always, we try to do it with both hands. You'll probably see that my left arm is not as good as the right arm. It's still quite decent. All right, so now as we move ahead, this is going to start to get a bit trickier, but if you did all the exercises before, you should be good. So now if you remember the movement of the infinity sign, here, as we go to the right side, as the hand turns, throw the staff up in the air and catch it. Here it goes, throw, catch. As it's you can give a little bit of a space of a spin here, which is going to make it look better and feel it more efficient. Good. Throw it up here. If you feel good, you can actually let the staff spin longer. So here, longer. More, it makes a full circle. And now that, if you make it faster, sorry, that's another movement. If you make it faster, it looks quite good. Feels like you're spinning the staff way longer. Another movement, which is going to be added in between the movements. It's not very easy, but you can do it. So probably everyone in school during lessons turned around their pencils between fingers. You can actually do the same with the staff. I could try to go into detail how to do that, but normally it goes up quite spontaneously, naturally. So just it'll take time to develop. There's a bit of a strength in the fingers that is necessary, but you can also do it to the other side. But basically, it's a lot about training. As you see, my other side is not as good. If you watch my left arm, it's even worse. It just basically needs some training. But then if you become good with one arm, again, we go to the infinity sign. And as you turn here, before we threw the jaw up and caught it, here we spin it between the fingers. Go, spin it between the fingers. Go, spin. Go, spin. Show it to the side. Go, spin. And spin. So now there's an extra spinning movement. It's not only going into the infinity, but also spinning between the fingers, so it makes an extra spin. And now as the last moment for this episode, for this series, as you go here, you can also turn, spin, and throw. Turn, spin, and throw. Turn, spin, and throw, catch. Turn, spin, and throw, catch. Now this is obviously going to be harder. That's where we're moving slowly on to the advanced section. But it's a good ending exercise. So there's going to be a lot of spinning and catching. So basically, you're almost adding all of your previous exercises to one section. If you add all of it, we're going to look at this later in the other videos, but it's starting to look nice and feel good, but we'll get there eventually. First of all, make sure you learn these exercises. They're very important. They're at the base of everything else, but it's a very good beginning. Some of them already look good, but at the next video, we'll look at more precise details and we'll advance further. This was Sensei Rokas. Beforehand it was Aikido Cholet. Now we're turning into rebranding our dojo into Dojo, but this time it's written in Lithuanian, in my native language. D-O-D, that's a J, a letter which doesn't exist in other languages, and O, so Dojo. Well, we'll get there eventually. All in all, thank you for staying here. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and see you in the virtual chat again soon.